Hey, Dave.
Hey, Chris.
Dude, we're hitting the 90s tonight.
Hitting the 90s. My senior year starts it. Your senior year finishes it off.
Man, this timeline has been fantastic.
It's been like about 8, something like that.
I feel like we're probably, I think we're like 9.
Could be.
So, I mean, this was a good run. I liked it. It's given me some ideas about what to talk about.
Yeah, we've come up with several
too.
other, not necessarily timeline type things, but, we want to do a toys episode.
Yeah.
A TV show episode.
Because that stuff, I mean, dude, that stuff mattered. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, now, like today, like, people have like what maybe like TikTok or some of that stuff is where people are just like watching it. I mean, that was like our thing. Like if we knew there was a TV show that was coming on and it came on once a week, it was like, dude, I got to be at home to watch this.
Now,
there's no second chance.
Occasionally you could set the VCR to record if you could figure out how to do that.
If you could, and that, that was, I would say, later 80s, when that finally became, I think, a thing. But
I know there were some shows that we recorded because they came on at a time.
Dude, do you remember, though, when you bought tapes that you could record over, they were set for a certain amount of time. So, like, you had to make sure if you were going to record, like, something that was going to last for, like, an hour.
Did you had an hour of tape left?
That you had an hour, or, you didn't buy, like, a 30-minute, cassette or VHS tape to put in there. And then you get to watch 30 minutes of a show, and it goes on for another hour and a half.
I remember getting mad because some of my shows got recorded over.
Same. You'd be in the middle of a show, and then all of a sudden somebody's cooking.
It kind of...
Yeah, they'd give you that little... And then all of a sudden it's like... And then you add the beef to the...
It's like, Who recorded this cooking show over Baywatch? That's from the last episode, so go back and watch that one.
Oh, that was good. Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to getting you there, wrapping up this series, man. Oh my gosh. I did a little bit of pre-work for this episode.
You did.
And when I say
I'm
that,
proud
I mean
of you.
like 45 seconds of
You read it
before this.
Make sure you know how to pronounce everything.
But it's amazing how prepared I feel
for
this final episode.
Yeah.
I mean, because if we're not in a flow and doing this better by now, folks, it is not going to get much better.
No, we're about as good as we're going to get.
I totally believe that.
The only thing that could get better is we could get like an actual mixer instead of this, whatever this lunchbox thing that I have is. Like, y'all don't even know. I run both of ours into one channel because otherwise Chris is on one side, I'm on the other. So I run both of us into one channel, and then in editing, I tell it to mirror on the other channel. So we seem like we're in stereo, but we're really just dual mono.
Dual mono.
We're
not the enhanced.
No.
We're not those podcasts. Have you listened to any of those with the enhanced audio? Will change your world, dude.
Really?
Especially if you're driving and you're listening to some kind of sci-fi and then there's lasers involved. That bad boy sounds like it is coming from out of your back seat and right past your head. And if you happen to be driving down the interstate at that point in time, you duck.
Nice.
I did. I mean, it was that realistic. So we could improve. The other way we could improve is
have an actual camera.
Has not called yet.
No. Still
reached out. I mean, I'll check my email later to make sure, but I'm pretty sure he's not reached out yet. So
no.
That could make the podcast better.
And we could have a real camera.
I like that the two people we want on here the most are Ice-T and Baby Jessica. Both of which I think would help a lot and be equally as interesting. I mean, nothing against the one.
Nothing against Baby Jessica, but I would love to just have Ice-T like tell me some stories.
Yeah.
Because that dude singing.
But he ain't never fell down a well. I mean, you know what? He's never been here, so I don't know. Maybe he has. And that's the story we're going to break. So yes. All that to say, we can get a little bit better.
I can't keep it together.
But let's not use all of our good stuff on the intro.
No, nope. All right.
Welcome to our final timeline, Rated Gen X podcast.
The last timeline, and then we'll be on to something. Who knows what we'll do next. But
Ice-T's going to call.
Dude, what if he did? There would be an entourage here because he's got people. And we're just like, hey, it's our show and it's just us. Where's your producer?
I can be like the head of marketing or something like that. Not really. I don't really do anything.
You're HR.
Okay.
We're still looking for a producer, or at least somebody to sit behind the camera to hit the button, because my remote doesn't work half the time. So
let's start this, man.
It's from
Come
Temu.
on,
All right,
go.
Let's get into it. All right, let's hit the intro.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Chris.
Ooh.
The amount of stuff that we talked about that could happen during that intro,
Got me excited.
While the pre-made intro, the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, while that was playing, y'all don't even know. Maybe we should just keep the camera rolling while that's playing and have that off in the corner overlay.
That could be for our special members.
For our pay-per-view.
Yes. Because sometimes it would have to be at that level. That's the rated X Gen X. X-rated.
R.
X-rated, R-rated. Maybe NC-17. Which one is harder?
NC-17 is worse.
NC-17? Okay. See, I would think.
Because R is just parents strongly cautioned. NC-17 is nobody under 17 should watch this.
Remember when that really used to be a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think now, who's going to stop you? 14-year-old go watch a movie, 17.
Right.
I remember it used to be like a real threat. Like, oh my gosh.
Can't watch that.
If you go and try to get into an R-rated movie, you could possibly be arrested. I don't know.
Or at least that's what we thought.
It is.
All right,
Ooh,
1990.
Man. You are up,
senior
dude.
year. So I'm halfway through my senior year when 1990 started. January 18th, Washington, D.C. Mayor Marion Barry is arrested on drug charges. I remember that.
I do too.
I remember. I think it was In Living Color, the TV show. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
I remember them
that
making
was really good.
making fun of him.
Show.
There's a bunch of the Wayans brothers, and they just had like this powdered substance everywhere, and all kinds of stuff. But that's back when shows like that were actually funny.
Yes, it was. That was a really good. Probably now inappropriate show.
In Living Color,
So
there's
funny.
no way they could put that on TV
So
now.
Enjoyable. I do remember that though.
Oh, I'd laugh all the time.
Mm.
Just all of it was funny. All right, January 31st, first McDonald's in the USSR officially opens. We talked about that it was
Under construction. Okay.
and so it opened.
That's
in
interesting that that's a
1990.
notable thing that made it in here twice: the construction of and the opening of. That's
because
just really
the
interesting.
USSR was so far removed from capitalistic
Just
Western
modern day.
society,
That makes a lot of sense.
and so the introduction of a McDonald's was kind of like that was the little drop that they needed to go.
Yeah,
Hey, this isn't so bad.
because 7 days later,
Because 7 days later, Soviet Communist Party gives up control of the USSR, and the Cold War is essentially over.
going into some good times.
So the USSR was still a thing, and we'll see later on when it's not, but
Mhm.
the Soviet Communist Party gave up control over that.
And the wall's already come down.
Wall has already come down.
We've got McDonald's in
McDonald's,
Russia,
yep.
and now the Communist Party gives up control. So yeah,
Yeah.
all lots of positive stuff. Man.
Yep. February 11th, Nelson Mandela is released from South African prison where he was held for 27 years. And the reason it's called the Mandela effect, when you think something was one way but they try to convince you that it wasn't, I, like a bunch of people, thought Nelson Mandela died in prison.
I did too.
But
So
he was released.
speaking of that effect, are you a Berenstain Bear or Berenstein Bear?
I
Or
think
do you know? Do you recall?
whatever way that they're telling you it's spelled now,
Yeah,
I don't think is right.
it's the same. I agree.
I think it's the other way.
It's
It's Stain. I think it's Stain now, but it
Berenstein is what I
Steen.
remember. Yes,
Berenstain Bears.
Okay. Same. There's
And
some,
I've seen something where there was a lady. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole very far, but I'll stick my hand in it. There was a lady that was talking about the Fruit of the Loom logo.
yes.
She said it had a cornucopia. And Fruit of the Loom put out an official statement, said, our logo has never had a cornucopia. Like, she dug through old T-shirts of hers and her husband, like I was and found one and posted a picture
no way
of the logo with the cornucopia and said, what's this? So, there you go.
All right.
They're trying to convince us that stuff that we remember didn't happen, but it did. And we know it did
Because we got a Fruit of the Loom shirt.
because we
apparently,
got a
that
Fruit of the
proves it.
Loom shirt with a cornucopia. Horn of plenty.
Awesome.
All right. February 13th, there two things happened on February 13th. Plans to reunite Germany was announced. So it was still East and West Germany
Mhm.
officially. But now that the wall had fallen, they were talking about, let's just make it Germany again. And also on February 13th, the Black Crowes released their first album, Shake Your Moneymaker. And I'm going to tell you, 2 years ago, they were supposed to do a 30th anniversary tour in 2020.
Yeah.
But
you
you know,
talked to me about maybe possibly going,
but you know,
didn't you?
I did.
That's what I thought.
But you know, 2020
Yes. Changed up a little bit.
changed things up a little bit. So they did the 30th anniversary tour in 2023. And they played at the Orion Theater in Huntsville. Now, Black Crowes are from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
They played at the Orion Theater in Huntsville. And I think this was like the fourth or fifth show at that amphitheater. That's a great venue to watch a concert. I'll tell you. Everything was top notch. It was brand new when I went. I wouldn't imagine it would be any less now, but really cool place. And they played Shake Your Moneymaker in order that it was on the album.
Nice.
So, you know, whether you had the cassette or the CD, it was the same order.
Yeah.
So they played it in order. So I knew what song was coming next. And he didn't do a whole lot. He did a little bit of talking in between, but for the most part, it was just, you know, the song finished and, you know, he would say a little something, you know, thanks, you know what, and then
This jam
on to
session
the
now.
next one. And then after that, they played some of their other hits from their other albums and stuff like that. But to hear all those songs, because I went to see them in 1990. They came to the T-Pack downtown and played in one of the smaller, I think it was the Polk Theater.
Yeah.
And I had 7th row tickets to that. And I remember those tickets being ridiculously expensive. And I was watching.
Until you went to this show.
These weren't that bad.
Were they not? Okay,
No,
that's good.
no.
Maybe
they're-
because of the location. Maybe Huntsville.
maybe in a, you know, I don't know, but I remember I was watching a little documentary on Black Crowes, and so it's Chris and Rich Robinson are the brothers that are in Black Crowes. Chris is kind of the lead singer guy.
Mhm.
Rich is, you know, he plays the guitar. Rich is my age. Rich was a senior in high school when Shake Your Moneymaker came out. And the only concerts that they would play were shows that he could get to, play, and get back for school the next day.
That's insane.
So he was talking about that. And so Nashville, from, you know, being from Atlanta,
Mhm.
that was a 4-hour drive, so he could sleep on the bus on the way back and then be at school the next day. And I'm sitting there going, You're the lead guitar player for the Black Crowes. You're my age. Better have your butt in that seat in class the next day after your concert. So, but
that's
great album.
that's our generation. Right?
Yes,
we
that's how we
carried
did
that
things.
into our 20s.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, now they would just homeschool you and you just go on the road all the time.
There's no
Nothing wrong with that. Just
no, but it creates a different caliber.
It does.
I've
it's a different cloth you're cut from when you still have to do the regular things, even though you're a star.
yes, I love being from the generation that stayed out most of the night, showed up to work the next morning,
That's right.
still in the same clothes, but we were there on time.
And didn't call in sick. That's why I have.
It's just-
That's why I have all those sick days.
it's like I'm here.
All right, April 8th, I remember this. Ryan White, 18-year-old, dies from complications of AIDS contracted from a blood transfusion.
That put a lot of fear into people.
Oh, people were scared to give blood,
Yeah.
get blood. People were thinking they were going to get AIDS if they, were in an accident and then they got tainted blood. Or if they were, I think blood donations went down during this time because people were thinking, I'm going to get AIDS by giving blood.
Yeah. Well, there was so much confusion and just unknown.
Well, we didn't know about.
remember all
stuff.
I remember the cleaner. Remember the pink cleaner at our work establishment that we were always spraying on the bathrooms and stuff. It was supposed to kill the virus and everything. All that stuff. I mean, somebody made a lot of money off of the fear and confusion.
Yep.
But same could be said for COVID.
Yep.
All the cleaning and sanitizing things. So yeah, that's that's what I remember from that is all of a sudden everybody panicked about anything related to giving blood, receiving blood. You're in an accident. Oh my gosh, Oh, fear.
Yep. And I remember seeing that guy, Ryan White. I was like, golly, he's almost the same age as me.
I was going to say, he was like our age.
Yep.
So,
Yep. All right, April 24th, the Hubble Space Telescope is put into orbit. And if I remember correctly, it was just a wee bit out of focus at first. And they had to, go up and do something to the lens to get it right.
because that would be terrible.
Right. We
have
launched
a
this huge
Blurry
telescope.
picture of the universe for the next
Right.
75 years.
But, we can see, galaxies that are millions of light years away and they look crystal clear. We got a security camera at the convenience store and it looks like it's one
I've seen
pixel.
that.
Looks like these Minecraft people
think
walking
the
around.
offender was human.
It's like, this is the best we can do. So, whatever. It's just money. All right, July 13th, the movie Ghost opens in theaters.
Good movie,
Yeah. A little weird.
but man, how many people wanted to take up, sitting
Pottery.
at a pottery wheel?
All of a sudden, sitting at a pottery wheel was ultra sexy.
Except when you take that date night class and you take your shirt off, it makes it awkward for everybody
Right.
there.
Then just have the Everly brothers playing in the background,
Oh man!
I'll tell you what, I thought it was a great movie. I kind of went, ooh. when he kind of manifested himself through Whoopi Goldberg,
Yeah.
and they were at the pottery wheel, and they were like this, and then it popped back, and it was Whoopi Goldberg hugging Demi Moore, and I was like, ooh, not what I wanted to see.
That's what happened. Why do I feel dizzy?
Ooh.
Oh,
Like the
man.
Madonna video, I feel different. I have just passed out.
Man.
That was a little, I was kind of like, you remember, whoa. That was for something different. I've had a tough time holding it together.
1990, we're in a class together too, aren't we? We're in accounting.
We are in accounting class.
That's right.
Miss Sowards? Was that Miss Sowards?
Dude, I have no idea, man.
I think it was.
It was at McGavick.
I know what classroom it was in.
I would hope so. I mean,
Yeah, I taught there for
you've
16
been
years.
there
Right.
long enough. I haven't been to McGavick since like 1994.
No, I can take you. I got keys.
Right now?
Still. No, not right now.
Oh, okay.
But sometime. All right. July 26th, the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, is signed into law by George H.W. Bush, which is why we have, ramps going into
Accessibility.
buildings and stores and stuff like that. So I know that's, been part of your life for a lot
Absolutely.
of your
Look
life.
at it a whole different way.
Yeah.
I knew the time. I don't know if I really ever associated that with George Bush, though, for some reason.
Right.
Not really sure.
I would have put that earlier.
I would have gone with Clinton. So a couple years later.
Okay.
So, yeah, interesting. So what's the next one?
Yeah, the next one, I'm not going to lie, scared the crap out of me. August 2nd, 2 days before I turned 18. You know what happens when you're a male and you turn 18?
I do. You go down to the post office.
And you sign up for the selective service for the draft. So on August 2nd, 2 days before I turned 18, Iraq invades Kuwait. So.
It was a equally nervous time for myself.
Yeah.
Who has a birthday coming up in just a few months after that.
Right.
Yeah. I do.
Because
that was a big deal. And it's not talked about as much, I don't feel like, now. I know we've been in the global war on the GWOT, global war on terror, for 20 plus years now. But, the last conflict we had prior to this was Vietnam.
Right.
And the draft was a huge
thing
piece of that war, right? You had.
And so this is the next one, and we're going, is that coming back? And as 2 days from turning 18, I'm going to get drafted.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a serious concern.
I mean,
it was a concern.
I would have gone. My dad was in the Navy.
And the same thing.
I would have gone, but I would have been like, whoa.
Was not at the top of my list at that point. Didn't come around for a couple more years. But, yeah, I mean, when it was time I went and did it, I certainly would have done it had that been the case. But as we'll see, things turned out a little different.
August 7th, Operation Desert Shield is announced and put into place. So the U.S. response to that was, much like started in Vietnam, it was we sent advisors and stuff like that. And so, of course, everybody is going into, I wouldn't say full panic mode, but everybody's going, this is how Vietnam started.
Mm-hmm.
We did this. And so I was just barely 18 at the point, and I'm going, I'm going to college in the fall, but maybe not.
Yeah.
So, but that didn't happen. September the 13th, the TV show Law and Order premieres.
You a fan of that show?
I have done different runs of some of the different versions. I watched the regular Law and Order for several years, and then I watched Law and Order SVU for several years, of which Ice-T is now on. So we're
hey,
Ice,
buddy. Still hadn't heard from you.
love to have you on the show, man. We cannot pay you anything. Like, I can promise you we won't make you eat these donuts.
Was he, like 10 years older than us? Maybe not that much, right?
No, he's
Think so. Is he an Xer or is he a boomer? Think he was born before 65?
I think so. I think he's...
If he'd reach out, I'd know the answer to that. But I don't.
Because we're smack dab in the middle of Gen X. Like, I think 72 is the
I don't feel like
center.
he's 60.
Oh, he's definitely in this.
Is he really?
He's in his 60s, yeah.
Okay.
He might be in his late 60s.
Wow. Okay. Maybe I'm way off.
He might be right on that Boomer X line,
Okay.
but
I
I wouldn't.
I, would
I don't.
not have-
I don't consider
I would have
him
put
a
him at maybe
boomer.
like 58.
Oh no, he's definitely.
For you, good for you, Ice-T. Man, you're holding it together strong, man.
Love to talk to you about it. But yeah, Law and Order premieres September 13th. October 1st, the Human Genome Project starts. A project to map the location of every gene on every chromosome begins. So
Is that
that's-
completed?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, so that's that whole gene mapping thing. That's how they, when they start doing gene therapy
Yeah.
now, because they know, like, hey, this one's off.
Okay.
It started here.
I wonder how long it took.
That is an excellent question. If I find the answer, I'll put it,
Okay.
I usually type it out.
Because that's a strong statement. Like, it begins. It's like, okay.
Right.
How long did it take? Because that sounds
Right.
quite large.
Well, I mean,
I know nothing really. I mean, obviously,
I'm sure it took a
I know
long
bit
time
long.
because that stuff is so small.
Yeah. I mean, Hmm.
October 3rd, East and West Germany officially reunite, forming Germany once again. So there we go.
there's a lot of celebrating.
Man, I mean, it was
Going
like
on
a
there.
party. I remember watching on TV or going,
I think it slowed down the, initially when the wall came down, everybody just left East Germany
yeah.
and went west because the fear of, it could go back up,
Right.
things like that. I think when it officially reunited, it finally gave the country a chance to start to.
To take a breath and
Settle
go,
down.
okay.
So you think about that, right? That's really bringing to a final, I wouldn't say a close because they still had years of infrastructure to rebuild, which is going back to my earlier story. Even in the early 2000s, once you went to the eastern part of Germany, the infrastructure was visibly and
Worse.
significantly different in a worse way. Like it just wasn't there yet. They were so far behind. So you think that all started in the late 1930s, and it wasn't until 1990 that they really got a chance to reset and become
60 years of asphalt
Yeah,
is
just-
not good.
Man, that's just crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
So that was October 3rd. October the 4th, the TV show Beverly Hills 90210 premieres.
I did watch that for a bit.
I watched it a little bit. There were
It was a cool thing. I wouldn't say it wasn't like Baywatch watch,
no,
but I watched.
but that was the look. People had the long sideburns and
Yes.
stuff. I did that for a minute back when I had hair.
Never did that one.
It obviously didn't work, so it didn't make me cooler. I don't think this podcast has made me cooler either. But did you know that Chuck Norris does not sleep? He waits. Here.
Dude, I love Chuck Norris. That's
Does
a
not
great
sleep, he
picture of him,
waits.
too. He waits. Talking about an awesome dude, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, somebody else I would not want to get hit by.
no, not at all.
Mike Tyson, Chuck Norris, Steven
Bruce
Seagal.
Lee.
Bruce Lee's not around.
No, but still wouldn't want to get punched by him. Remember the
No.
time we watched the last Enter the Dragon?
Yep.
And we freeze framed because they always said that one kick was like it was only in one frame. His foot
Yep.
moved so fast, and it's true. We tested it.
Yep.
It was really, really hard to freeze on that one frame too, to catch his actual foot moving so quickly. But no, I wouldn't want to get hit by any of them.
Crazy. All right. November the 4th, the movie Dances with Wolves opens in theaters.
Absolutely one of the best movies of all time.
Great
in my
movie.
opinion.
What was that? I remember Chris Harmon used to walk around, Shamani Tatonka
Owachi.
Owachi.
Say, dude, I can't drive through the mountains without saying that. I'll look up and I'll see one of them, like an empty bluff, and I'll be like, Shumari Tatonka Owachi. Like it.
That means My Name is Dances with Wolves. I believe.
Yes, if I remember that correctly.
Yep.
But Tatanka is also buffalo,
Right.
but maybe some word share there.
Well, in English, we
No, if I pass a buffalo, I'm going to say Tatanka.
probably not all you're going to
I
say.
may roll down the window and yell it at it just to make sure it knows its
Tatanka!
name. Which is really hard because I pass one on my way to work every day on I-65. There's a farm there that has one buffalo,
Oh, okay.
and it brings me absolute joy to pass that Tatanka each and every day on my way to work.
Hey, we were in Yellowstone a couple years ago, and it drooled on the side of my truck
Oh.
as I passed by because he was like,
Well, you didn't get out and try to take a selfie with it?
no,
'Cause you're
I'm
not
not
an idiot?
stupid.
Those people,
No.
amazing.
I locked the window so that my kids couldn't roll it down any further,
Oh.
because they were 3 and 6 and 3.
That would be great.
It's prime age for, I don't pet that
I
dog.
want to touch it.
Can't pet that dog. So
Oh man, no, that was awesome. Awesome movie.
great movie. It
Still
was
holds
long,
up. I love it.
long movie.
I'm disappointed that his oh man, what's the new series he just
Yellowstone?
No. He put out a movie that he did on his own.
I don't know that I know that.
It didn't do very well. Went to theaters. It's super long. It's going to be like 3 parts, I think. It's a Western. And I'm gonna.
I always thought that he might run for political
I'm gonna
office
sound like a
one day.
hypocrite because I'm gonna say that I watched it and I really liked it, and I did. I can't remember the name of it, but it was really good.
That's fair.
But Dances with Wolves, loved it.
Great movie.
Yes.
All right, December the 1st, the Channel breakthrough occurs. So that's the English Channel Tunnel. So the tunnel from England to France under the English Channel. The two sides, they started digging from each side. Can you imagine if you were off? Where are you?
That would be terrible.
So lots of engineering involved there. But the two sides met and they had the breakthrough on December 1st. It's 132 feet below the English Channel. To me,
But how long?
that just doesn't seem like enough.
How long is it?
I feel like it's something like 110 miles or
So
something.
you're just you're in that tunnel that long.
You're in the tunnel for a minute.
Have you gone through the Chesapeake Bay Tunnel?
Yes.
That's too long.
Yes. I've been through the Chesapeake Bay Tunnel with my camper and diesel truck.
I mean, I don't know if that what I'm in probably wouldn't matter as much. It'd probably be a little interesting, I guess, but still, like, it just feels weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right, man. But it's amazing.
Yes.
But yeah, it's tunnels, especially tunnels going underwater.
I know 132 feet is a lot, but to me it just doesn't seem like quite enough because
for a ship not to come by and clip that bad boy and open it up.
not even that. I'm just talking about as the channel moves, it continues to dig out. It's kind of like a riverbed. It just keeps getting deeper. But I'm sure that there's some science behind. Has to be 132 feet.
Maybe
it's just a
constantly put stuff in it.
all of us will be dead before something bad happens.
It is a little, I don't know. It's just, it feels weird going through a big tunnel like that.
Especially for that long. And it may not be 110 miles. I don't know why that sticks in my head. I'm sure I'll put what it actually
And it's like, are there
is.
breakers? Like you come up to the top and there's like a little island you can hang out on and you go back down? Because that would be ideal.
I doubt it. Like, why?
I don't know.
Because at some point you're going to have a road through the water if you do that.
That's true.
So,
all right.
sounds good. but-
Finish up 1990,
All right.
man.
Sorry, this is my year. December 19th, Bo Jackson. Bo knows. Bo becomes the first athlete to be named to both the MLB and the NFL All-Star and Pro Bowl games. So he was an All-Star baseball player and a Pro Bowl football player.
That's just another
Crazy good athlete.
bad dude right there, man.
I wouldn't want to get hit by him either.
No. Crazy good athlete. Man, I think my favorite thing he ever did was break that bat over his knee.
Right.
That was like the coolest thing
It's like
I
he
feel
took,
like I'd ever seen in baseball.
it's like he took a pencil and was like,
Oh my gosh, man! It was just like
and other people have tried to
insane.
duplicate that, and they're like, nope.
broken knee.
Right.
No, that
I remember he
man.
ran so fast, like at a football game, that his hip came like detached from the muscles because his muscles were so strong, and his bones were like, nope.
Yeah, and I mean that's eventually what kind of ended
Yeah.
his career, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because he was just so
Um,
strong.
But man, you're talking about just a dude being in his prime and just excelling really at like both those things.
I had a shirt that said Bo Knows, and it just had all these things listed down the side of it.
And I see him pop up every once in a while.
Yeah. He'll be on the Heisman commercials, the Nissan
Mhm.
Heisman commercials. He'll
but
be
I
on
think
those.
he just pretty chill dude, just doing his own thing, right?
Yeah.
But I also think I've never heard really anything negative about.
No,
him.
I've never heard
Like,
him any scandals or anything.
Seems to be in.
Just seems to be a
know,
stand-up guy that
Yeah.
just wants to fly under the radar, except every now and then.
Good
Which
deal.
good for him. All right, your senior year. Here you go.
Man.
91. Finishing up.
Let's give a little bit of credit to 1990 first, though, man. That was a good way to kick off this decade, and I do say decade because we've got a lot of stories that are gonna maybe back up a couple years as we get our cars, but
Well, I got
you
my
know.
car. I mean, I bought my car in February of 1990.
okay.
My truck. So
I was gonna say 90
now I
to
start
like
driving before
90
that.
to 93. There's a lot of stuff we're gonna pack into those 3 years. This next few next few episodes, but no, man.
I need to
what a great
reach
way
out.
to kick off.
Up north before we do that episode.
Awesome way to kick off the 90s.
Yeah.
All right, 1991. Yours truly is a senior in high school in 1991
And turned 18.
and turned 18 on January the 8th. And then January the 12th. So you had it a couple of days before. I kind of knew stuff was going on, but then, 4 days after my birthday, Congress authorizes the use of force to liberate Kuwait.
And I really thought I was going then. I'm just
There was what will turn out to be a 4-day period. Okay, not 4 day. Maybe it's about a month and a half, but I mean, it was really over pretty
right.
quickly. I mean, shock and awe. That's where that came from. Is
Right. Well, and a group of soldiers surrendered to a CNN news crew.
it's like, I think we got this.
Right.
So that's January 12th. January 20th, we clip over into some music. Aaron Tippin releases "You've Got to Stand for Something" with songs that included "You've Got to Stand for Something," which is a really good song. "She Made a Memory Out of Me," and I feel like there's another good song off that album I'm not remembering. Is
I'm gonna say I don't remember because,
man.
but I like
Feel like there's
and
another-
I'm sure that was a line before,
Mm-hmm.
but it kind of brought it to kind of the mainstream of you got to stand for something or you'll fall
Yeah.
for
It's a
anything.
really good song though. I like
Yeah, and stands true today.
it. As a
Too many people stand for nothing.
Agree with that. January 16th, Operation Desert Shield becomes Operation Desert Storm. And we officially start seeing some amazing news video from
Oh, the news crews
Kuwait
just
and Iraq and
flocked over there, and they were filming
the term
everything.
embedded became, I'm embedded with the,
Yeah.
4th Infantry, whatever. That all that became, I think, kind of words that we all kind of got to know. We were all told
Yep.
to turn on our headlights while we were driving to support the troops. You remember that?
I do.
Remember how many times your battery went dead because you forgot to turn your lights off? Because we didn't have auto as an option yet.
No, but mine would
3
ding.
times.
Mine would ding at me.
Mine would not.
It would go. Ding.
I specifically remember that. My battery died 3 times
Nice.
supporting the troops for Operation Desert Storm. You're welcome. February 27th. First Gulf War ends after Iraq withdraws from Iraq. After Iraq
January
withdraws from
12th.
Kuwait
February 27th.
and sets oil fields on fire.
I remember seeing the pictures of those oil fields, which I'm
same.
sure I'll show. But
I remember that as well. But yeah, I mean, so we had basically 6 weeks of war, pretty much one-sided, I think, all the way
Yeah.
around.
I remember they were making fun of the Scud missile that Iraq had.
Yes. Well, and that's what we learned of the Patriot missiles.
Yes.
The anti-missile missile,
Right.
which
Kind of
You know.
an Earth-based version of the Reagan's Star Wars type thing.
yes, it makes a lot of sense. But that was, it was just insane. I think to have so much. I mean, we literally watched that whole war on TV.
Right.
So in school, I remember we were usually at least 1 or 2 classes would have CNN on all day long, and
Yep.
literally just everyone's watching.
I would
that.
go back to the dorm and we'd turn it on and be like, "What's happening on the war today?" It was kind of like,
Yeah, just
a show.
insane.
Which
And speaking of insanity, I mean this is crazy.
Oh.
March 3rd, L.A. police officers beat Rodney King with the incident caught on camera, and that led to just some
that
awful event led to some awful events.
Just
Riots.
riots and just all kinds of. It was a bad situation all the way around.
Oh yeah.
Now, we don't know if that was commonplace for police officers or police officers in L.A. Somebody just happened to catch it on camera because, everybody didn't have a phone with a camera on it.
Mm.
So somebody happened to catch this on camera, and then it got leaked to the news, and then it was everywhere you turned.
It was, and it's sad that over the years, I mean, we still in a lot of ways haven't got past some of this stuff.
No.
So it's well, let's here we go.
Oh,
Our buddy. We're back at you, Ice-T. May 14th, you released the album OG, Original Gangster. It is the first commercial coining of the abbreviation.
abbreviation. I appreciate you doing
Abbreviation OG. So it's the first time that happened.
Right.
So I mean, dude is breaking ground. I'd love
And people
to,
use OG all the time now.
They are. I'd love to know how you feel about that. Ice? Can I call you Ice? Would you
Mr.
call
T?
him Ice? Or?
No, Mr. T
Oh,
is
you
somebody
can't
else.
use Mr. T.
No, that's somebody else. He pities the fool.
I mean, I'll just put it out there right now, Mr. T. If you're not busy,
Oh,
I
B.A.
would totally-
Baracus?
Yeah, A-Team TV. Oh God, yeah, man. I would have Mr. T.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He can even wear the full gamut.
I would expect it.
I would be offended if he didn't.
Absolutely. I mean, what's his name? Terrence.
I really don't know.
I feel like his name is. Anyway, I don't want Terrence.
Mr.
I want,
T?
Yeah, I want Mr. T.
Yeah.
I want my
I feel like
version of Mr. T.
Ice-T's name is Tracy.
That sounds familiar. If he would just reach out, we'd know all these questions.
I would
Would have answers.
I would refer to him as Ice-T
Okay.
or Ice. Mr. Ice.
I would wait.
What would you
I
like me to call you?
I would probably ask before I shortened it to Ice.
Right.
I would assume that's.
He refers to himself as Yo Iceman, like on his albums and stuff like
Mhm.
that when he's conversing with himself.
Mr. Ice-T. Mr. T. I don't know. I'd like to have that opportunity.
Yes.
I think it's interesting that Ice-T is who's captured our attention.
I don't know why. I've always liked the guy.
Baby Jessica, you're still number 2. I'm going to get as much out of that as I possibly can. July 22nd of 1991, serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, known as the Milwaukee Cannibal, is caught. He later died in prison in 1994 when a fellow inmate beat him to death. Crazy. Just,
Talk about somebody with some screws loose, man.
I mean, that whole thing just, yeah, I mean, you're not just murder. I mean, you're eating people and just, woo.
And didn't they make like a TV show about him?
I think so. that's really not. Serial killers rarely are my genre of documentaries and stuff. I think the less we give to that, probably the better.
Right. Don't giving people any ideas.
September 10th, Nirvana single "Smells Like Teen Spirit" is released.
And
Man,
I know the whole song,
Mm-hmm.
but most of it's just words that I made up because I don't know exactly what they're saying.
But it's catchy.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
but I'm saying I still don't know the actual lyrics to most of the song, but I can sing right along with it, and it sounds like I know what they're
I
saying.
just do a head shake. Most of it, just stand, jam it. You ever been in a mosh pit?
I have not.
Yeah.
I'm assuming by the way you asked that question that you have.
I did. Yeah, I've done a mosh pit twice.
I just don't
I
like
don't
people
like to get,
that much.
I don't like to get hit that much, and it's like it's not really dancing. Okay. To be fair, I've been in one mosh pit. The second one was just a bunch of college kids.
I've been in a conga line
I've done that a couple of times too.
at Jimmy Buffett concerts.
They're different.
Different results.
they're different. I can say I would say I've been in one mosh pit, real mosh pit, at a punk rock club.
I had great experience with my 2 conga lines.
Is that
You were witness.
did one of those lead to you brushing your teeth for like 20 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man. October 3rd of 1991, Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton, he announced his intent to seek the Democratic presidential nomination. Billy Clinton. Spoilers, he won. Twice.
And I'm not going to really seek him as a guest.
Oh, Bill?
Yeah.
No. I don't want really any politicians.
No. There might be a couple.
Really.
I like,
We may have to have a formal meeting on that
we
to
might.
figure that out.
Yeah.
October 10th. I think we're both lying, man. Anybody with any reputation or fame that says, "Hey, I'll come on your pipe," okay?
Dude, they would have
Probably.
to sweep this whole house. I told you about when the Secret
Yeah,
Service.
I know.
Just saying.
All right. We can go on the road, meet them somewhere else. October 10th of 1991, former postal worker Joseph Harris commits mass murder of fellow postal employees. I think the term "going postal"
Came from that.
Yeah, that's sad.
Because that was the first one, and I think there were some others.
After
Yeah.
that,
And it was kind of like, it was often associated with postal workers, so the going postal term.
I wonder if that was one of the first acts of like workplace violence of that level. Maybe I don't really know all the history on that.
I don't know.
October 15th, Clarence Thomas is confirmed to the U.S. Supreme Court. I remember that.
Yep.
I thought there'd be more after that. It's like
No, there was just it's not often that people are sworn into the Supreme Court because they're appointed for life.
Yes,
So,
which is strange, right? You think at some point they'd need to
I mean, they can retire.
retire and leave.
They can, but
So it shouldn't be for life. It should be until you're 65, maybe. I don't know. It's just my
I
opinion.
mean, we're not far from
Love
that.
to talk about it with Ice-T, see what he thinks.
Yeah.
October 30th, The Perfect Storm, which later became a movie, actually happens in the North Atlantic Ocean.
See, that was just not. I'm sure it was perhaps dramatized a little bit on the movie, but essentially the events. I mean, that was a real thing that happened.
Yes.
And being in the Coast Guard, I'm sure
We talked about it a few times.
Stuff like that.
Stuff like
Came
that.
up.
The that portion was probably more real. That portion of the movie is fantastic. I really like it. But yes, most of what happened on the was it the what you call it, Gale? Name of the boat.
You got me on that one.
All right, but yes, most of that was drama and movie. But the I think the National Guard flight helicopter that went down and what happened on the Coast Guard ship, a lot of that was a little more truer to what happened. Also, I remember that most memorable thing I remember of that whole storm system is on the 31st, I think on Halloween of 1991. The Atlantic was like crazy, and Daytona Beach got like this rogue 15-foot wave that hit the beach out of nowhere. And we've been to Daytona. We know people drive on the beach, and
Yep.
all those people were just driving on the beach, setting up on the beach, and then all of a sudden 15-foot wave washes all the way in and wrecked a lot of people's day.
Yeah,
But
I can see that.
But yeah, that was interesting weather. I like weather too, man. So that movie, that whole thing is really interesting to me. November the 7th, Magic Johnson announces that he is HIV positive.
Which was crazy because, superstar athlete, and all of a sudden he's like, whoa, wait, what?
Yep.
What, you?
But I think I think that was, from what I remember, that was really the first person I recall bringing some education to what it really means and what, how someone could live.
We almost made it through.
HIV. We did. You can tell when I get relaxed and excited.
I'm gonna mount it before.
Yeah, so I think that was that was really the first person for me that probably made me focus on a little bit more. And then obviously, I mean, I'm 18 at this point, so paying a little more attention to things like that socially were had my attention. Then November 24th, very sad day in the music world.
Day.
Freddie Mercury, lead singer of Queen, dies from complications of AIDS. Man, you're talking about just a talented artist.
Yeah.
I mean, and not just him, Queen. Honestly, yes. I mean, absolutely. I think one of the greatest rock bands of all time.
The lead guitarist is an astrophysicist.
Yeah, it's that's fantastic.
Like that's almost too much stuff for one person.
It's insanity, and to just be that talented and just rocking out too.
Right,
I mean, just
that smart, and you're just like shredding.
I think this is what I'm going to do for a living. It's like, okay. December 17th of that year.
Oh,
Boris
rounding out.
Yeltsin.
This is the last timeline thing.
This is it right here. Boris Yeltsin announces the USSR will officially cease to exist by New Year's Eve. So by the end of 1991.
So that's only
Soviet
a couple
Union.
of weeks. Like he's basically saying.
Well, they already gave up power back in
the Communist
February
Party
of 90.
Right.
So, I mean, this is really almost 2 years later
that
they gave up power, and now, everybody's been able to go to McDonald's, have some of that, be like, this is a good idea. We should do more. But, yeah, I mean.
Jimmy Buffett talks about that
in
his album, talks about dropping the money on the Russian people.
Yes, he does. Little $5 bills.
$5 bills, all those tiny pictures of Abraham Lincoln come tumbling down out of the sky.
I mean, what a way to end our timeline, though. I mean, I don't know what the very first thing was. I'd have to look back.
I think it was a JFK assassination. Was it? Because we started a little bit before.
Yeah, we started. I don't know. Now I'm looking at the other pages. But anyway, that's our childhood.
Now, I wrote some stuff down. I don't know if I wrote them on yours. Nope.
You did not.
I wrote some stuff like, these are things that are not on our timeline officially, but they are soon to come. Things like Ruby Ridge. Clinton was elected. World Trade Center was bombed from the parking garage under the North Tower.
Yep.
which Osama bin Laden was
I did
responsible
that
for
too.
that. The Waco and Branch Davidians, like the standoff with the
man.
FBI. Watch that whole
Yeah.
thing on the news. The Brady handgun bill and the assault weapons ban. High capacity magazines were banned.
So is all that what? Is all that coming up like in the next year, or all that happened in?
All that's coming up the next few years.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
as we were in college, going
Mhm.
through college, whatever, and as some of our other Xers were getting on into high school,
Right.
that kind of stuff was prominent for them.
Very true. And
So-
we didn't really think about that, did we?
We didn't
We probably
necessarily,
probably should have went another couple of years to include, because we did go backwards.
right? I mean,
We'll get to it.
we
We'll get to it.
we can, because we're wrapping up this episode. We could maybe come back and say, "Hey, just kidding. There's another."
There's 4 more years.
Right, here's a few more.
I like it. I don't all that. I didn't have a question come to mind. You have anything
Maybe
for the
something,
Book of Answers?
maybe something about the Mandela effect.
Oh.
I got a. It's almost a conspiracy type question.
Did we do donut talk yet?
You mentioned it a little bit. I think maybe in the intro.
All right. I hope I did. I don't think we were on camera. I did smell them earlier because I was getting a funky little smell coming. I just did a little double check. If you got,
All right, yeah.
We can
All
do.
right,
I'll do a three for
Oh,
on.
okay.
I don't know where you're taking that, but you do stuff like that. That second, I'm like, whoa, what did I say? I'm sorry. I apologize.
All right. So
What's the question?
there's all this talk about the Mandela effect, and
Yes.
we talked about the
Berenstain
Fruit
Bears.
Loom and Berenstain Bears. Are there powers at B that are trying to manipulate how we remember history, how we remember things?
Yes, it's the lizard people.
Well, yes. I want to know what the Book of Answers says.
I'm sorry. Are there powers that be that are trying to manipulate
Our version of what
of
we
history.
recall as
our
history.
timeline of history?
Right. And I've seen some other Xers that, are popular on social. Oh, gosh.
Book of Answers, no questions.
Answers
just
only.
Just a quick reminder for anyone who's not familiar with it. And one of us will always ask a question, usually related to something we've talked about during the episode. And the other one will give the answer.
From the Book of Answers.
All right, from the Book of Answers. So are there powers that be that are manipulating the way we remember things?
That's my question.
The answer is you will find out everything you'll need to know. I think that's the perfect answer.
I mean, it couldn't be much better than
They're
that.
listening, Dave. I just hope they're listening and they're calling Ice-T.
We're going to milk it.
I think he'll make it to the next episode.
I'm going
at
to
least
find
one
my
more.
I'm going to find my autobiography by Ice-T, The Ice Effect.
I think our best shot is still Baby Jessica.
You think so?
I do.
I wonder if she's got social media.
Some one of those 52 people is going to be just intrigued
53,
enough.
I think.
53, okay. One of those people is going to be just intrigued enough to go, who is Baby Jessica? Let me look this up.
I'm sure we got a few subscribers and listeners that know who Baby Jessica is.
I mean, what if she's put all that behind her and doesn't?
She doesn't
ever,
want to bring it up again.
Doesn't ever talk about it at all.
What if she doesn't drink water anymore?
Man,
I mean, you never know how people get affected. by
no,
it.
I told are you claustrophobic? I mean, I would be. Do you hate yoga? I would.
have to do with?
Dude, she was bent in half for like 60 hours.
We think. We don't know.
Yoga, Pilates, all of it, right out the door. Not gonna do any of it. I'm not even gonna stretch.
You're not going to get me in
I'm
child's
not-
pose.
I would buy Velcro shoes. I wouldn't even bend down to do that. PTSD.
No, they have those Skechers where you just slip them on. You don't even have to bend down. You just
I don't mean to make fun, because hopefully she was so young she really doesn't remember.
right,
That would
and
be
her
my hope.
brain just like blocks it out because
Because I think that happens to a lot of kids
Oh,
that
yeah.
experience trauma.
yes,
But just like Ice-T, we don't know if we don't know.
that's right.
We haven't talked to you.
There's only one way to find out.
That is.
This may not be funny to anybody else, but
No.
for whatever reason, we can't let this go.
Can't.
It's just
Two
how we do things.
people from two different worlds.
Maybe
Where did that happen in Georgia? Was that where?
no,
it
it's in Texas, Midland,
Texas, Midland, Texas. Okay, that's like out in like oil fields. Isn't it?
Yeah,
Huh.
oil country, Midland, Odessa.
Do you watch
Football.
Landman? That show?
I have not.
It's really good. Good show, Billy Bob. Anyway, I think we are at the end of this episode.
Yes,
We've
covered everything.
Trudged it on enough, long enough.
Right.
I think we've touched lots of stuff. Not everything.
No,
Dude, I'm kind of sad. Like-
well, but
but I'm excited because we
I-
get to reopen the door to other
Right.
conversations and
But-
things.
just in fairness to our younger Xers,
Yeah.
those born in '80, they're only 11. So we might need to push this
All right.
a few more.
I would. Wow. So how far do we go? Because you're right. We kind of came along in the middle.
Right.
I'm not against continuing. Can we send out? Can we have a vote? We don't need to. No, it's our podcast.
Yep.
I say we continue.
Okay.
We be fair to. I want to be inclusive to all of our generation.
Right.
So
I think we need to at least get them to what?
So 80. That would be to 98.
So 98, get them to
get
18.
them through 18 to high school.
All right.
So
That's fair.
We've got 7 more years, 3 episodes.
3 more. So maybe this isn't it.
You heard it here first. No, it's not it. I think we
All right.
we continue on.
We keep it up.
That'll, I think, help us get through a lot of the things that formed us. It'll also be interesting because you get to 94. You and I kind of have a gap of like where we don't really see each other a lot.
Right.
At that point.
Because you've enlisted in the Coast Guard.
Yep.
And I've gone off and done stupid stuff. So
Some things, not everything.
not everything, but
But yeah, so no, we both became adults. We started life, kind of went different ways.
Yep.
I think we always stayed in touch, just not as much.
Yeah,
you could
well, I
tell
mean, it was hard
totally
'cause-
changed.
didn't have cell phones, so I'm trying to
No.
call you.
Dude, we still had long distance, man.
Right,
You had to buy a package.
right. Or I had a long distance calling card. Sprint.
Dude,
I had a
those were-
Sprint calling
those were
card.
Gold.
I had to
Gold.
dial the number and then punch in all the numbers from that card to charge it to that card. I had a lot of charges on Sprint calling cards.
It's insane. I would often so the good thing about that period of time in the military, if you could find a USO, they would usually have like 5 or 10 minute calling cards they would give you, so you could call home.
Oh, nice.
If you were deployed or traveling, you were away from home. But you would have to find a USO at the airport. They would usually either have a phone and allow you a few minutes or whatever. But if you were not, you're kind of on your own. So like ship pulls in the port, you're waiting in a line of like 75 people to use one payphone. And the rule was you get 5 minutes each just to call home, check in. So you didn't get to have these long conversations. It was like,
Right.
hey, who died, what happened,
Right.
all the bills paid, all that good stuff. So it was very quick. I remember calling home one time, I thought it'd be awesome to use the ship satellite phone late one night to call home.
Nice.
3 minutes, $137.
I guess that got charged to you.
Yes, it did. Well, because you had to give an account number over the phone, like or call collect. I'm calling collect, accept the charges. It's like the calling from the middle of the Sea of Cortez and off Mexico.
Which is crazy because then you think about cell phone plans now. I can call Canada, U.S.,
Talk
and
forever.
Mexico.
Yes.
Talk as long as I want, and it's just part of my bill.
3 minutes.
$137.
$137. That was
Wow, that's
a
fantastic.
lot of money. Yeah. Anyway, memory lane.
All right, so we'll go through 98. So I got some more research to
We
do.
got some research to do. We'll get our people on it.
By our people, he means me. I will be
We got to think big.
staring
Dave.
at the computer.
We gotta think. I'm happy to do it.
I mean,
Did that come across sincere?
I'll be doing it.
You did. It did. See my face. Didn't give it away, did it? You were like, oh, he's honestly going to do it. And it's like, nope.
No,
deep
did
down,
you
I'm
see my
like,
face though?
I did.
My face was, I'm not real sure why I'm doing this.
I don't know if you trust what I'd come up with, too.
Right. I'd be like, what is this?
It's all good.
So-
I hope everybody's enjoying this. You got a few
Yeah.
more years coming.
Yeah.
So,
So for you younger Xers, and I know one in particular, born in 80, so we'll take care of you. We'll get you
we
through,
will get
high,
you through
school.
high school.
Gotcha.
Good stuff. I'm
It's our pledge to you, our pledge to our generation. We're going to see them all the way through.
You're so kind. How can Ice-T not want to reach out?
I just don't know. I mean,
Or baby Jessica. I know she's not a baby anymore. But I'm sorry. You came into that at an early age. I apologize, Jessica. You are baby Jessica.
forever.
Forever. Anyway.
All right. Let's
Thank you
stop all
guys.
this nonsense.
We should. This has gone on way too long.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much.
Come back next time for probably 92 and 93.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Thanks, y'all.
See y'all later.